For our reading today, we're going to have the words on the screen, and the verses of this reading have a response, which is part of the words of the reading itself. So we're going to have some words from Psalm 46. And as I read the words in white, I'm going to invite you to reply with the words in yellow throughout the psalm. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth be moved, and though the mountains tremble in the heart of the sea. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our stronghold. Though the waters rage and swell, and though the mountains quake at the towering seas, the Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our stronghold. There is a river whose streams make glad the city of God, the holy place of the dwelling of the Most High. God is in the midst of her, therefore she shall not be removed. God shall help her at the break of day. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our stronghold. The nations are in uproar, and the kingdoms are shaken. But God utters his voice, and the earth shall melt away. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our stronghold. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our stronghold. Well, it's all going great until it isn't. Everything's all right until it's not. And it all makes sense until it doesn't. Life. Life has a habit of disrupting and disturbing the status quo. And I'm sure in one way or another we would all agree on that, though our circumstances and our stories would all be very different. But I'm sure we'd all agree that sometimes it's all going great until it isn't. It may be illness. It may be loss of independence. It may be troubled relationships. It may be stress. It may be bereavement, any significant loss. It may be a crisis of our faith, or something not happening to us directly, but to others, and that shakes us. We lose our sense of control. We lose our sense that all is okay with the world. The status quo of my world and my beliefs and my framework and my certainties is shaken. Sometimes that's over a period of time, or sometimes it can happen in an instant. And so it's all going great until it isn't. Everything's all right until it's not, and it all makes sense until one day it doesn't. So where does that leave us? Well, it will probably leave us having to rethink and reconsider and reevaluate all of it in order to make sense of this disruption, this disturbance. And at such a time as this, the tendency is so often to panic. Headless chicken mode, running around or running away, or like the traumatized hedgehog, curling up, frightened. Psalm 46 that we've just shared in takes us to the very heart of the whirlwind of all these sorts of emotions. So unsettled is the psalmist. They describe this turmoil as the earth moving, mountains trembling and quaking. That which was rock solid suddenly isn't. Waters raging and swelling, nations in uproar. Images and words that paint this picture of turbulence and upheaval. But after all of this powerful language, a voice that says, "Be still and know that I am God." And we'd be forgiven, I think, for answering back to that voice, "Really? You try and be still when all of this is happening around." "Be still," the reply, "and know that I am God." Really? How? Be still and know that I am God. I'm sorry, Lord, but in the midst of all this, that doesn't really feel a very easy thing to do, a very natural thing to do, not the sort of thing I'm inclined to do. Thank you. Be still and know that I am God. And so, as counterintuitive as it may be, the Lord seems to say nonetheless, "Be still, and in the stillness, lean into me and allow me to lean into you, to provide the refuge, the shelter, the safety, the courage, the help that you need in time of trouble, when life throws the curveball, when life is hard." A promise of help. What will that help look like, we wonder? Friends, the stark reality is that we've no way of knowing it. We've no way of knowing what the help will look like. I wish I could dress that up. I wish that I could direct you to that page in the chapter of life where it says God's help in time of trouble, where it will put it all down naturally and easily and neatly. This is what will happen. This is what you can expect. This is what the help will look like. But there isn't one, and I can't. The psalmist, another psalmist says, our help is in the name of the Lord, and we know that. But how? When? What will it look like? How will it pan out, this help? Again, no easy way of saying this. I don't know. And what's more, I doubt you know either. We can't know often at the time. Looking back, we can trace often. We can look back and say, I think that's where the help was. But at the time, not so easy. And that's where our faith really kicks in and where the rubber, as they say, really has to hit the road. In not knowing what the help will be, nonetheless, we still lean in. we still our soul and we wait for the help to come and trust somehow that it will. As another psalmist says, Psalm 48, we wait for your loving kindness, O Lord, in the midst of your temple. We wait for your loving kindness, O Lord, in the midst of your temple. We try to resist the temptation then to predict what the help will be, to predetermine what it might be. Faith is trusting that it will come, but what's more, it will almost certainly not come in any way, shape or form that we might have predicted it would come anyway. Such is the nature of life. At such a time as this, we lean into the Lord, and we also lean into one another. For the chances are, this is where our God-given help may begin to come from one another's support, understanding, from a listening ear, from someone's attentiveness to our situation, compassion, someone's prayer, someone's practical support. For don't forget, Christ has no body now on earth but yours. Your hands, your eyes, your feet, your ears. You may well be Christ for somebody today who needs that. Somebody for whom it's all going great until it isn't. Everything's all right until it's not. It all makes sense until one day it doesn't. We may well be Christ for someone today, and if we're going through it ourselves, we may well meet Christ in one another. I believe that to be true. Let's remember then to be patient and kind to one another in our struggles, in our uncertainties, in the midst of the whirlwind. It is all part of life, and our faith will not take us away from it. Our faith, though, does lead us to lean in, trusting that he leans back into us. Be still, my soul. I will wait for the loving kindness of the Lord in the midst of his temple.